Hi, everybody, and welcome to Sin Privilegios. I'm your host, Adriel Dominguez, and I'm here with my first guest speaker. He's one of my good and dear friends, Oscar Perez. Are you a little bit nervous?
I'm a little bit nervous, not to say I'm the first guest, but it's all right. It's all right. We got this. We got this.
Yes.
Yeah, but thank you for having me on. Yeah,
Yes, of course. Thank you for being my first guest.
girl.
We met at this organization at our university called Latinos Unidos,
Mhm.
right? Wait, did we meet there? You're lying.
Yeah, and that's literally where I got to know you because I think we did an activity. First year rep? Is that when we were like first talking?
No,
No,
I didn't run for first year rep.
no, you didn't run, but I did. But I think that's like what we were talking about.
So what made you run for first year rep?
So first, I guess what I kind of want to talk about is, well, what is a first year rep? Maybe not a lot of other universities have this, but for specifically Latinos Unidos, first year rep was kind of like an intro leadership position that gave the opportunity to students that, first years, freshmen, to be able to participate in a club. And it's very intro level, so it was kind of what you wanted to make out of it. And the reason that I wanted to run, although this was my first time ever running for like an actual position for a club, which in itself was nerve wracking, but I believed that I was able to contribute to a community that I at least believe, I continue to believe, was not only important and the presence on campus that was, very much needed, um, but essentially I wanted to be involved with this, but also the impact that one person can make, right? Um, it was kind of really a advocacy kind of thing because, well, I kind of heard what people wanted, and
Mhm.
then from there I was able to form it into ideas. At least from my first year when I won it. So I just think having that voice or having other voices heard is kind of what not only motivated me but continued to motivate me to be able
Mhm.
to run for a future position.
Mhm.
Uh,
Obviously, you were first year rep, and he jumped into applying for president of the LXU organization at POU.
Jumped.
That's a big jump. So
Because it was the things that I had saw, growing from that year of being first year representative to be able to become president, like you said, it was a really big step, a really big step. And luckily, I had also encouraged other people to apply. I just remember feeling like not only joy, but kind of overwhelmed because it was like, okay, well, now I am this position. Now I need to move forward with it,
Mhm.
right? I need to organize myself and continue working a job, being a full time student, navigating, a couple other challenges, right? And of course, I'm human. So there's probably long
You get
things that
tired, you get
you get
stressed.
tired, you get stressed, and then now organizing and helping fulfill a full team, right? So once those elections happen, I full thing was I felt nothing but excitement, right? And so now I'm the president.
During our first year, I didn't really know him. I guess we did like kind of become more friends when he asked me to become vice president for the team. I already told my kind of story on this, but I've never run a club or nothing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had no idea. Like, yeah, I was obviously I wanted to do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I was like, well, this is the perfect opportunity to do it. And he is the one that encouraged me to take that leap. But something that I applaud him for is that like I said, that big jump he made, and it was a lot of responsibility. Like, I'm not kidding. Running a club is a whole 9 to 5. You're not getting paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so smart, hardworking, and he was picking up everybody's slack when, because there was times your team might slack, and that's okay. He was always on it, and I think that's something that you should be proud of because
Thank you.
he just jumped off the cliff and did it. I don't know how you
And
figured it out, but you did it. He did it, and
you did it too.
we did it
We
together.
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the team. And the
and the
team.
team. So, like he said earlier, like we didn't like at the beginning, it was kind of uncertain. Like, okay, what is LXU? Like, are we just like a fun little like club to like get students together and like that's fine. But when I went into it, I told him like I really want this to be more than that because I know LXU could be more than that, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And when Trump went into office, it kind of expanded what we were doing at LXU. We really wanted to be advocates for a community
Hmm.
and like give resources to our students and be a place of like comfort in a time that was so uncertain, not only for our communities but our students at POU as well.
Yeah, I just remember just feeling lost. I just feeling hopeless,
Yeah.
because apart from like what this meant at school, I didn't know what that meant for my parents, right? And everything that he had mentioned before, Trump was saying, um, just so much things that lacked empathy.
Yeah.
And I was so distraught to see not only how he was majority, but that like he got voted into office, right? To essentially lead this whole country. And that truly changed my perspective on what we needed to do and how we needed to contribute to the community as a whole. I just remember that first feeling of um, needing to communicate to my parents because like they were just as confused as I was, right? Needing to communicate to my parents on, for example, the know your rights. I
Hmm.
remember when that was like, one of the first things that
Such
I
a
got
big thing
such a big
on the
thing.
media too.
Yeah, on the media, like such as like have your red cards, going over what they meant, and luckily my parents were able to understand it, and they had saw some things on the social like on social media, for example. But I think one of the hardest things that was for me to do, and I just kind of had to go at it with uncertainty, was tell my grandparents what it was.
Hmm.
Um, I think that was probably like one of the like after I just, like I'm not gonna lie, I did get emotional about it. Was having to talk about what their rights were, what the Constitution, how they're protected under that, and the things that they can and can't do. Right? It just felt like a moment of, okay, well, I don't know what to do next. Right? I read them this. I gave them a red card. We have them at the house. We have it at the restaurant, but it still doesn't change the fact that, well, now people are being put under, people are put into fear, right? People are put into fear of going outside their houses. People are put into fear into trying to decide what they need to do next. People are put into fear into realizing um, what is safe for them. That wasn't ever a worry, right? And by any means, my grandparents or my dad, they're not criminals. Yet they talk about, let's say, undocumented people with such like like
Disrespect, honestly.
disrespect of who they are as people, right? My parents have done nothing but work. My parents have done nothing but pay into the tax system that they don't get into any of, like, they don't get anything from it, right? They pay into taxes, they follow everything, right? They this shouldn't even be an argument in itself, but they contribute to society, right? But let alone they're my parents at the end of the day. I don't know how I can vouch for them more to have other people look at from this one other side that they're just trying to live here, right? They're not asking for your assistance. No, they never did that. They never once complained about that. They never got into social security benefits and all that. Yet they pay into them. That's kind of what gets me mad the most.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
And he's right. I mean, people saying that we're trying to take from the government. My mom never got EBT, even when we didn't have
Mhm.
a single cent. We used to go to food banks because we couldn't get benefits, even though me and my brother are US citizens. They didn't give it to us because they racially profiled my mother. So for
Mm.
people to say that we're trying to take away, no, immigrants have funded social security benefits and they receive nothing in exchange. So that's invalid.
Mhm.
And I just feel like it's one of those things that people need to be educated on because
Mhm.
you're clearly not educated enough on the subject if you think that that's what's going on.
Mhm. But apart from that, it shouldn't have to be an argument. Well, they contribute, right?
But they're still human beings at the end of the day,
Exactly.
regardless of whether they give into the economy or not. And people don't leave their homes because it's their first
Mhm.
option, their second option, not even their third. So
Yeah, and I think to put into perspective, many of the things that we have done as first generations, the most important word is first, right? We have when I first got into POU, I'm not only carrying, the weight of my bag and whatever was in my backpack. I'm carrying the weight of the not only the sacrifices of my parents, but acknowledging their stories, acknowledging the path that they paved for me that wasn't created, right? It's not like I had a full-on road that I could follow, not a map either, but they paved it for me, right? They allowed me and they gave me the opportunity to be able to study, and I'm truly thankful for that. I will never not be thankful for my parents. It's just that feeling of not knowing what to do next. And I think each moment I took that into consideration of how we were running the club, right? How didn't it impact my home? How is it going to impact other people's home, right? So I guess first step was trying to get informed. But even then, it was such a mentally straining process. Day by day, each something was changing, something was different, something was getting removed.
and it's like, okay, yeah, we get it. We know all these bad things are happening. It's not about knowing the bad things. It's about knowing what you can do, staying informed and educating yourself. If this happens, what can you do?
I don't know. It was such a crazy switch. Like it felt like society had completely changed. That moment of uncertainty was probably one of the most devastating things because many of them had the same questions.
Mhm.
And when we had to like either refer to somebody that might have known or provide their parents with support, it made me realize that this is not just one particular story, right? This is yours and mine, and this is many other people that are dealing with not only currently, um, and they still continue to, but yet disregard the whole, like we were saying, the whole human process of it, right?
I honestly just can't find a way to
Yeah.
excuse what's happening. I mean,
Uh-huh.
saying it's because this is such a topic that we could go on forever, honestly. But like saying, telling immigrants to come here the legal way, first of all, there's no pathway and it's not an easy thing to do. Some people have been waiting for decades trying to actually do things the right way. And like I said earlier, I mean, people don't leave everything behind. They don't leave their parents
Mhm.
behind. Some people don't even return to their home countries, not because they choose not to, but because they can't. And for people to be selfish and say that they're criminals when, first of all, coming here without documents is not even a criminal felony, it's a civil violation. So
As in the same as a parking ticket.
you're telling me you never jaywalked?
You never jaywalked?
Because I know you have.
Yeah.
And
Hypocritical?
that doesn't make you a criminal, does it? It doesn't.
Uh-huh. But that topic of like that you're saying of they will never return is such a thing I think about all the time.
And like I said, like our parents, they sacrificed all of that for us. You know, I know some friends whose their parents, their grandparents have passed and they don't have a way to go back home and say goodbye. Even though the last time they may have seen their dad. Imagine seeing your dad and mom for the last time when you were like 17 and then they pass away and you never get that opportunity to say goodbye. That just builds, like they already came into this country without knowing nothing, nobody, not knowing the language, right? And then for people to degrade them to such a low level, calling them criminals, making it seem like they didn't earn their place in this country is unfair. It's unfair. And you have no empathy. You have no empathy because you don't know the sacrifices that our parents have made to bring us here.
Mm-mm.
And even adding to the fact that we're criminals ourselves and we don't deserve to be here is unfair because there are so many students that are working, studying, taking care of their family and all on top of running organizations. And for the media to be saying these things is just unfair. It's unfair. It's unfair to our parents, it's unfair to our family, and it's unfair to us.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just truly heartbreaking thing. Because
Yeah.
even then, of like even just the topic of immigration could have been it's a hard topic on everybody, right? Even previous to this administration. For example, kind of what you were talking about. Uh, my grandpa had unfortunately lost his sister, right? And the only way that he was able to attend the funeral was through a video call, right? And I remember doing a presentation for a class in my reasons for voting. I don't think absolutely it's nothing that someone should have to experience, right? Having that feeling of the uncertainty of not only not going back, but not even saying goodbye, especially the final goodbye. And the only way that the last time that you would have been able to see them was through video call. And then I could go on the whole attention about like there was like various important people that come into my life on my motivations for voting. Um, but now it's my motivations to advocate my advocate to advocate for the change that I want to see within this community, to advocate for the different political injustices that need to be changed. But apart from this had other personal effects for me. Unfortunately, about maybe a month and a half ago, I got laid off essentially by my job because I was working for AmeriCorp. If you don't know what AmeriCorp does, they are I believe, a nonprofit organization
Yeah.
that works through the whole America, and they provide support, let's say, for nonprofits. So I was able to get employed through AmeriCorp for El Santa Raza, and I essentially, was able to be that support system for the schools.
Mhm.
They don't only offer that, they offer everything from veteran support, and even just to have that entry level position for people was such a big monumental change for some, right?
Mhm.
Especially for me to then randomly get an email on a random Monday as I was about to go in. 30 minutes before I was about to go in, I get an email saying that due to budget cuts within the administration, right, I will now, my term has now been paused. So I was not able to work. I went in that day because I was like, okay, I had a lesson for them and I wasn't going to go without saying anything to my students, right? So I went on as normal and I'm like, okay, maybe this is going to end in a couple of days. To only realize that about 4 weeks of waiting, I and was now terminated under the administration that so supposedly wants to help the people, but yet I have been impacted not only personally within my personal life within my family. I have been um, even as an educator, right? Those 2 weeks before leading up to the elections, the amount of professors that we're talking about. There's even one professor that mentioned, I don't know what this administration will do, and I wouldn't be surprised if I have to tell you that this wouldn't be something I'm not willing to teach anymore, right? Depending on what continues on. A full-on professor told me this, that she had been teaching there for so long, and she was just as uncertain as I was. So this was a personal thing within the education system. This was going to be doing budget cuts to not only to the students such as us within what they consider DEI programs. This would cut anything from differently abled students, um, such as programs within my school, such as dual language, and other different programs that were essential to the school system. Cut, cut with no remorse, right? Because they needed budget cut, obviously, right? That's what they needed, the most thing that they needed in America to, um, yeah. So for them, my job, academics, and personal life. So it was just more like feeling a sense of hopeless, right? I lost my job. I feel like I'm losing the one thing that I knew within this country, and I'm starting to grow, and losing that sense of everything that my parents had worked for, right, within my college journey. I feel like all those three main components were just now gone because one person just wanted to do a budget cut, right?
Mhm.
One person said, "Oh, we don't need this anymore." Yet we're essential to me. My family is everything that I do for them. I mean, my family is my motivation to keep on doing stuff, right? And now when I lose those three on the major motivations that I had, I didn't know what to do.
Mhm.
So it is in fact personal, right? And I don't know. And personally, I can't be friends. This might be controversial. I can't be friends for somebody that voted for him. If I'm being completely honest, you have disregarded not only who I am as a person, where my family comes from, and where we continue to come from, because we're not going to stop, and also my future, past, present, and future. They have impacted everything, and yet I will still continue to advocate for the people that were as certain as me, because I know what that feeling is like of losing, feeling like you lost everything, because essentially I had, right? Literally all I had was this club. All I had was this club. And to try moving on like everything was okay, obviously it wasn't. And I think this is one of the things that pushed me more, considering after the fact, was because now everybody's kind of feeling this way.
Yeah, so I mean, this goes to show that we're all pretty much on the same boat, right? But
Hmm.
we're gonna figure it out, and this is not something that's gonna last forever,
Absolutely not.
and it is manageable. And I really do believe that together we can truly make an impact. And I want this to be your guys' podcast, not mine. And thank you for everything that you said. And I'm sure a lot of students are feeling the same way.
But I want to say is that don't let this stop you from what you want to do. Don't let this one singular person stop you from continuing either whatever challenge you want to overcome, right? Whether you want to become pursue a degree or not, take up space. Especially as Latinos, I kind of felt that like kind of tendency to feel like imposter syndrome, right? I don't know if I belong, right? I don't know if I fit into this space. But what I want to emphasize is you absolutely do. You have nothing but to recognize that sacrifices that one gave for you, right? So use them. Take up take up that space. Make your voice heard, and don't be afraid to try out something.
And even if you fail, do it again.
Do it again and
Do
again
it again until it comes out right.
and again. Uh-huh.
Our parents didn't raise no quitters, guys. And we're here to stay. Matter of fact, we've been here before them, but you know what? Let's just say for this. Well, actually, no. We have been here before them, and we're still going to be here long after.
Mm-hmm.
So push through it. We're here. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good way to end this episode.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening. And this officially closes our episode of Sin Privilegios. Thank you so much for watching, and good night because it's nighttime now.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.